Hi, good day everyone. I'm Simon Dawson, Senior Lecturer at Cardiff Metropolitan University. Welcome to my short interviews with industry specialists, where I get to ask how they got into the field of work, the essential skills that they use, and any advice they can offer for students during their studies or entering the industry. Today I'm joined by Rachel Scott. Rachel is a new product development technologist at the FSC group. Rachel, welcome and thank you for talking to me today.
Thank you. Hi.
So first, I'd just like to ask if you can explain a bit about who you are and what you do, please.
Yeah, sure. So I'm a new product development technologist. So I work at a business who specialises in food to go for businesses that primarily don't work in the food industry. So it might be fuel courts or homewares business. So they don't have the technical knowledge for food items on site as their primary business. So it's a lot of food to go, short life items. So I work within teams with development chefs and technical to make sure that their ideas from the customer briefs end up on the shelf nice and safe and tasty.
Fantastic. So just for any viewers of this that don't know what a food to go item is, could you just explain what this means, please?
Yeah, sure. So it'll be items like sandwiches is our primarily sold product. So food on the go tends to be snacks as well. Items that don't need the consumer to reheat themselves. So it might even still be pasties or steak slices and things like that that have been cooked on site, but the customer doesn't need to do any more to it.
I see. So how did you become a new product development technologist?
So I've always been a keen cook and baker at home, which always helps with working in food, liking food. So when I was 16, I did my work experiments in a local restaurant, which was quite an experience. I did think I want to be a pastry chef. That's my blinker goal. And then a week in a restaurant where there were frozen baby mice in the freezer for the head chef's pet snake kind of changed my view. And it was a very good wake-up call. I mean, it was an interesting week with lots of pressures and learnings, but it just kind of realigned things of what I'd actually want to do. However, I still wanted to create food for people to share and enjoy. And from doing some research of what university courses I could actually do, I came upon the product development module at UWIC, obviously Cardiff Met now, and studied food science and technology for 3 years before then I entered into work placement where I became a pie inventor for a company for 4 years, which, yeah, it's and then kind of fed on from different jobs after that. So working as product development, as well as more technical roles in factories for danishes and donuts. To where I am now in food to go.
Fantastic. So working in things like product development, what are your greatest rewards and challenges then?
I think it's ultimately those kind of really hard days where the product's really not working and you've done a factory trial and it's just going straight into the staff canteen because it just hasn't worked. Then actually seeing those products successful and on the shelves and people tucking in and getting that great feedback of how much they enjoy it makes those kind of tough trials a distant memory and sort of part of it. So it's really rewarding to see just the enjoyment people get from the products that you've worked so hard on.
Yeah, I can imagine, because if you're going out and if you're going into some of the areas that's selling your foods, just to take a step back and say, I developed that, that's my food, and to see all these people buying it must be really rewarding.
Yeah, it's really great. As a first role, we actually did a pie for the royal wedding, which was great fun seeing it sort of in sort of the press and being talked about. So yeah, so for all those successes, there are some that you sort of have to work a bit harder and sort of cause you a few more sleepless nights, but when you actually get them on the shelf, that's even bigger reward.
Oh, wow. So for people considering university, why would the food industry be a good option, do you think?
I think it sounds a cliche, but every day is different. So it's never sort of a boring sort of month of doing the same day in, day out work. So it's really problem solving with food, and sort of puzzles of how to work things out. And yeah, you'll never get bored because also everyone always has to eat. So there's never a shortage of jobs and different scopes and how our eating habits have changed over the years. I graduated 10 years ago, and seeing how different trends and different products have been required in that time for us to push different technologies and different flavor profiles in mainstream, it's really exciting to see where it's going to head to in the future.
Oh yeah. So you graduated 10 years ago. That's like 2 years before I started working in Cardiff Met.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, it was UWIC days. So
yes, at UWIC, and then we changed our name to Cardiff Met University as well. So I mean, you've got 10 years worth of experience now. So if you were employing a graduate, what kind of skills would you be looking for?
I think a passion for food is needed. It does definitely carry you through sort of the tougher days and challenges to kind of want to see the best result, really. And just, yeah, an enthusiasm as well for food, and getting stuck into projects, really. And I think it's every day you kind of learn something different that you can potentially file away for a project and problem down the line. So something I worked on, years ago, suddenly you kind of think, oh, that will work. And it's just that kind of ever evolving kind of knowledge base and ever growing kind of different facts and findings, really. Which I think, yeah, just being able to get stuck in really helps. And, it's just an interesting industry that will keep surprising you. I mean, we're adapting even sort of current times and COVID. Again, how do we adapt to that? No one was really planning for that. And again, it's really sped up innovation. So someone who can think on their toes and sort of get results is also a great asset to any sort of food business.
Cool, yeah, definitely. I was reading an article the other day and I didn't realise, do you know that 1 billion people on the planet work in the food industry?
Really?
Yeah, and some guys or another around the world, 1 billion people work in the food industry.
And it's really funny because it's also such an insular kind of business in that everyone actually knows everyone, that it's not 7 degrees of separation, it's probably about 2 people. So you're always finding different roles and different businesses that by the end of the day, you actually probably know someone who's already worked with someone. And it's a really nice community to kind of be a part of.
Yeah, I think I found that as well, because I mean, coming from the food industry into lecturing, you meet people again, you talk to them again, and you see so many new interesting faces like yourself, Rachel. So for current students and graduates, or those looking for employment, what kind of advice could you give them that would help with their CV, covering letter, in order to get them, in the door for the first interview?
Yeah, I think different activities also help to shine out. So I also have a food blog as well. So not necessarily purely academic, but it shows interests outside also helps. for that definitely helped. Also, kind of, I found listing kind of products that you are excited and interested about, and actually hunting them out. You know, trying to find them maybe on LinkedIn, and actually speak to those people who are in those departments already, and actually asking questions about, you know, getting in roles, and actually just having those conversations actually helps job searching much easier. And from graduating, it's kind of, where do I begin? And there's so many resources of different food specific agencies as well that will tell you of all sorts of food companies that you probably never knew existed or produce most of your food on your table. And you know, it's having the kind of personality to kind of put yourself out there and have those conversations that sticks with people, that there may not be roles at that time for that business, but they will remember you for when there are roles. So it's just building your community as well, which is really helpful.
Yeah. Well, Rachel, it's been great talking to you today. You know, you've given us some excellent advice, and I'm sure anyone that's interested in coming into the food industry will be very beneficial by the information you've provided. So thank you, and hope to talk to you again soon.
Great. Thank you very much.